So recently I've been doing some off-the-cuff videos, and you guys really seem to like those, and some of you in the comments have even been asking for more. And so far I've only been reacting to Bleacher Report articles, and I've got another Bleacher Report article today. This one's actually pretty old at this point, but with that being said, I really just thought this would be a fun topic. I was also really strapped on time over the last couple days, and had a lot to get done in my personal life, so I was like, you know what, let's just do something fun that's a little bit easier and a little bit more laid back. With that being said, this is my third take on the audio and the screen capture. I haven't got into the list yet, but even just getting started is difficult, and full disclosure, I still get nervous and have jitters not cleaning up my audio so much to the point where I sound like an android. And so getting used to this, just talking off the cuff and letting all my spilled words and everything stay in the video, it's kind of tough for me. But because you guys have been pushing me on it, because you guys like a more authentic approach sprinkled in every once in a while, I'm going to stick it through, and I'm going to try to do this more often, especially when I don't have a ton of time to do editing and writing, seeing that I'm doing that all on my own at this point. So yeah, but today's list I'm very excited about. I'm so sorry about that whole ranting for a little bit, but today we're looking at the top 20 best in-game dunkers of all time, according to Bleacher Report, and or at least according to this specific writer for Bleacher Report. But this should be fun. I actually think this is I think it's personally a more fun topic than the greatest dunkers overall, because the difference between a great in-game dunker and a great dunker overall, it's night and day difference. Because a great dunker overall, they have no defense, in the All-Star game dunk contests and stuff. And then in this, I mean, it's about absolutely destroying guys at the rim through great defense, that sort of thing. I do think it's funny that Bleacher Report put the best in-game dunkers of all time, and then they put a photo of freaking dunk contest with all these greats getting ready to do it. What a sick photo, by the way. I have no idea why Jerome Kersey's looking at Jordan's shoes like that, but yeah, I don't know, maybe he likes the shoes. But no, I think this will be fun. So yeah, and I think I have some kind of hot takes related to the best in-game dunkers of all time. So I will let you know what those are as we go through it. As always, I'll let you know which ones I think is too high, which ones I think is too low. And please, as always, let me know in the comment section below which ones you think should be higher or should be lower. I've been ranting for 3 minutes at this point. Hopefully that's enough explanation, and you guys are going to forgive me for spilling over my words. I hope so. So let's get into it. Number 20. And again, I don't know any of these. I'm going into this blind. I try to do that with all of these lists. That way you get as much of a genuine reaction as possible. But Derrick Jones Jr., I like this pick. I don't know if he'd be in my top 20. The dude is just a freakish athlete. This right here, obviously, being one of his most famous dunks of all time. This is actually an alley-oop dunk. And technically, you might not even call this a dunk. It's more of like a thrunk, where he caught the ball, and because he was so far away from the basket, he basically just threw it into the hoop without his hand ever touching the rim, a la like Dwight Howard in the dunk contest where he was wearing the Superman cape. And so yeah, Derrick Jones, ridiculously high hops, incredibly ferocious dunker. Again, I don't know if he'd be in my top 20, but I don't hate this pick. Number 19, Dwight Howard as an in-game dunker. I don't feel like Dwight had that much longevity as a terrifying, just incredibly powerful in-game dunker. His Orlando days were insane. Some of the lob passes he caught from like Jameer Nelson were just so ferocious. But, once he came to Los Angeles right after that back surgery, it was clear that he just didn't have the same level of explosiveness and athleticism. But man, this guy was postering any center that opposed him for a while. And so 19, even as a big man, for specifically in-game dunks, I don't hate the placement. Again, I don't know if he'd be in my top 20. I think Bleacher Report might leave out some of the more underrated great in-game dunkers that should be on this list, but we'll see. I've got guys like Desmond Mason coming to mind. Stromile Swift is a guy I'd like to see on this list. Jason Richardson is definitely a guy I'd like to see on this list. So if somebody like Dwight Howard is on and some of those guys are not, I might have a problem with that, but we'll see as we get further into the list. Number 18, Dwayne Wade. Flash was, he had a lot of like sneaky good dunks, you know. Obviously, there's the one-handed slam where he just absolutely destroys Anderson Varejao. Personally, my favorite Dwayne Wade dunk is the one where he does the spin as he's attacking the basket and then flushes it with two hands and then does his little awkward dance right afterwards. So Wade was incredible. I don't have a problem with 18. Very ferocious dunker. Wade also being a 6'4" player just means that, you know, him elevating as high and dunking it as hard as he does looks even better just because he's a smaller player doing it. So yeah, I don't have a problem with this one. That's interesting too. They have an example dunk. Let me know what your favorite Dwayne Wade dunk is in the comments section, because I feel like the Anderson annihilation dunk, that's normally the one that gets the most love, but personally I like that two-hand flush right after the 360 spin. Number 17, Zack LaVine. I don't know, man. I don't think I'd have him ahead of Dwight or Dwayne Wade as an in-game dunker specifically. Zack LaVine certainly has the flashy aspect, but I feel like I haven't seen as many punishing poster dunks from LaVine as those other guys. And from like a power and ferocity and getting the crowd out of their seat standpoint, I think as an in-game dunker, I would probably have him a couple spots lower. But again, we all know what LaVine's capable of. He's incredible. And to be fair, maybe that's just the fact that he's not as good as Wade and Dwight, you know, at their peak. So, you know, maybe there's a lot of great dunks that I'm not thinking of for LaVine because of that. But I think I would have him a little bit lower. Number 16, Russell Westbrook. This is an interesting ranking because as far as like swinging the momentum and dunking with power, Russell Westbrook is about as good as it gets. He was like, I would say he was like Shawn Kemp of the point guard position in the sense where he was just explosive. He attacked the rim and dunked in as if the rim really owed him money or insulted his mother. Like he just always seemed angry attacking the basket. And the only thing that he's kind of lacking is because Russ is a much smaller player, he'd kind of just get up and flush it, you know, just with his one-handed, sledgehammer. But he never really did much creative stuff. Not many like reverse dunks, windmills, anything like that. He might have, you know, a variation dunk every once in a while in his repertoire. But overall, I feel like his dunks they're powerful, but they're a little bit basic. And so I don't want to say everybody on this list is too high, but I feel like that's my kind of the theme so far is I think there's some guys who are a little bit high and I might have some other guys in this spot instead. Wow. Okay, that is a wild ranking. And sorry, there's this is what you get with these off the cuff videos. Now I can hear like sirens going on outside, so apologies for that. But now we got Steve Francis at 15. Now listen, Stevie franchise was awesome. I also have some sentimental value around this guy because back when I was collecting basketball cards, my first ever autograph card was actually Steve Francis. And that was back when he was called the franchise. So I thought that card was going to be worth so much money one day. Turns out he's more of a what if and couldn't keep his health in check. So that it didn't turn out to be the case. He was explosive, thunderous dunker, but more so than Westbrook, more so than LaVine and Wade. I was very, very in tune with Francis's prime, and I watched him during his prime, and I kind of feel like this is too high. Those of you who are familiar with Steve Francis, this incredibly explosive 6'3" guard, let me know. Do you think this is too high? I'm really curious to hear what you guys say. You guys probably know where I'm going with this one. I think picking this photo of Kobe in the latter half of his career is probably a bad choice for this photo, but here's one of my hot takes. Kobe is not, to me, a top 5 dunker in NBA history. He's probably not even top 10. If he is, he's fringe, but he's probably not top 10 because you're also including the dunk contest. And the 1997 dunk contest that Kobe won as a rookie really wasn't the greatest dunk contest. It wasn't that great. Kobe won the award basically with his best dunk being a standard East Bay, which at that point we had already seen a couple times in the dunk contest. But as an in-game dunker specifically, my hot take is I feel like Kobe is usually underrated. Kobe to me is definitely a top 10 in-game dunker in NBA history. And the reason I say that is because just think about his most iconic dunks in his career. Posterizing Yao Ming, that dunk he had in 2003 during the 40-point streak against the Nuggets, where he catches the outlet pass from Robert Horry, puts it behind his back, and then does a 180 slam. That was like the play of the year. Then he has the two incredibly reverse dunks, the buckle up for Kobe Bryant against the New York Knicks, and then he sucked the gravity out of the target center when he did that basically reverse windmill dunk on Kevin Garnett and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Then he has the rookie dunk, or maybe it was a sophomore year, where he does the crossover and then almost leaps from the free throw line while posterizing people. Like, Kobe has so many incredibly iconic, flashy dunks as an in-game dunker. He's dunked on Tim Duncan. He's dunked on all kinds of superstar centers and such. And so, I don't know. I understand he doesn't have a vertical leap as great as Vince Carter or as great as Michael Jordan, but as far as Kobe's creativity and how he attacked and finished with some of the iconic variety of dunks, I think Kobe should be higher. Oh my gosh, yeah, right there. Example dunk, the baptism of Dwight Howard. That's another great one. Kobe just absolutely destroying Dwight Howard. He has so many. Yeah, there's the dunk on Steve Nash in the 2006 NBA playoffs. It goes on and on. Kobe has got so many incredible dunks. How about the dunk on Chris Paul in the 2013 season, or the dunk on Josh Smith during the 2013 season? Yeah, to me, Kobe's got to be top 10 just because there's too many iconic dunks for him not to be that high. That's my opinion. Obviously, I'm going to seem biased. Oh my God. I got thrown off. I had more thoughts on Kobe, but now we're talking about Pippen. Scotty Pippen, number 13. Wow. I don't like this ranking. I will say that Pippen as a dunker is kind of an under-recognized dunker. The example dunk they have here is the most disrespectful dunk in NBA history. I'm going to assume 99% sure that the dunk that they're talking about is in the 1994 playoffs when he dunks on Patrick Ewing, basically helps shove Patrick Ewing to the ground and then walks over him and then trash talks to Spike Lee on the sideline. Just absolutely legendary stuff from Scottie Pippen. He could go coast to coast. He could finish it with the right hand or the left hand. He'd also mix in some reverse dunks. I remember one of my favorite dunks of his, I think it was the 1993 All-Star game. I can't remember, but I think it was the 93 All-Star game where he caught a reverse alley-oop slam. Was absolutely awesome. But there's just no way you have Pippen over Kobe. And that's just the immediate one. There's no way I'd have Pippen over Wade or Westbrook. This is, to me, this one's a bit wild. This dunk right here, this most respectful dunk in NBA history, this is carrying hard if you want to get Pippen up to 13. Like, that is a hard carry, in my opinion, if you want to get Pippen this high. This is too high, but still love Pippen. Still think he's normally underappreciated, but he's definitely overrated on this list. Tracy McGrady at 12, no problem with it. As an in-game dunker, so much creativity, so much flash. One of my favorites was him. Yep, there it is. Playoff and one on Shawn Bradley. Just absolutely destroying the 7'5", 7'6" Shawn Bradley. Tracy just, in his prime, just detonated on so many dudes. I think that from a longevity standpoint, you could put Kobe ahead of McGrady, but T-Mac got up so high, man, and he had all of that creativity too. So So yeah, I don't think I have a problem with this 12. Maybe you could even make an argument for him to be a little bit higher. He even had some of the off the backboard alley-oop passes to himself. Those were amazing. So yeah, no problem there. There we go. Jason Richardson, number 11. I think he'd be top 10 for me, even as an in-game dunker. First game I ever went to in my life as an NBA fan. First game I ever went to, it was 2006, and we were living in California, but my dad couldn't afford Lakers tickets, so we went to the Clippers game. And the Clippers were actually pretty good in 2006. If you remember, they had Corey Maggette, Sam Cassell. I think, did they have Baron Davis at that point, or was Davis on the Warriors? I can't remember. And then Jason Richardson was on the Warriors, so it was Clippers-Warriors. And the highlight of that night was Jason Richardson in the fast break did a 360 dunk. And it was just so flashy. It was incredible. He would poster guys, windmills. At least in the dunk contest, he had East Base and everything. The creativity of this guy was just gorgeous. And because he wasn't like a marquee superstar like Tracy McGrady or Kobe Bryant, a lot of his amazing dunks and highlights kind of got lost in history. But this guy was doing something incredible that made your jaw hit the floor almost on a nightly basis, just as an above the rim athlete. So no problems there. I think he'd be top 10 for me, but 11's a pretty good spot. Clyde the Glide Drexler. A guy who's definitely overshadowed by this guy, Michael Jordan. The Glide was a perfect nickname for Clyde Drexler, not just because it rhymed, but this guy could dunk from the free throw line just like Michael Jordan could. So much elevation, so much style, reverse slams, all kinds of creative dunks, cradle dunks, back reverse dunks. He had just about everything. He wasn't much of a windmill dunker, but he could do that too. But he had a lot of stuff to his game and just absolutely posterizing guys too. The funny thing about this guy is, even when he was 20, he looked like he was 45. But, don't let that fool you because, man, he could glide through the air and finish with the best of them. So top 10 for Clyde, well deserved. Number 9, Shaquille O'Neal. I have a hard time ranking Shaq as a dunker because I feel like when people do this, they throw out a lot of the conventional ways we rank these guys. Like Shaq is not a high flyer necessarily. He's 7'1", 325 pounds, and he dunked the ball so much because he could dominate in the paint and basically force his way to get down low. But I know he had some great poster dunks, but to rank him ahead of Clyde Drexler, Kobe, Tracy McGrady, Dwayne Wade, so on, to me, that's nonsense. Jason Richardson, that's silly to me. He's not a high flyer. Did he poster many great centers? Yeah, but I mean, they're also his assignments. They're the guys who are supposed to guard him. Obviously, when it comes to Shaq, some of my favorite ones was absolutely destroying David Robinson, and I believe it was the 1996 NBA All-Star Game. Probably my favorite is the one where he just absolutely destroys Dudley and then shoves him to the ground. And it humiliates Dudley so much that he spikes the ball back at Shaq. Just legendary stuff. And I get why people would want to rank him this high, but just because it's awkward to rank a center who's not necessarily seen as a high flyer, there's no way I have Shaq in my top 10, and there's certainly no way I'm ranking him ahead of Clyde, Jason Richardson, T-Mac, and so on. To me, that's kind of silly. Number 8, Shawn Kemp. Wow. Too low. This is too low. I feel like whoever made this list is probably really young because Shawn Kemp's got to be in the top 5. And this isn't even a dunk contest. I think you could drop Shawn Kemp some spots if you're including dunk contests. But if you're talking about specifically as an in-game dunker, that's Kemp's bread and butter, man. Think about all the alley-oop passes from Gary Payton, the way he just absolutely destroyed Alton Lister. which is interesting that Chris Gatling shows respect. I would expect the Alton Lister dunk to be the one they would put there. But yeah, just freakish athleticism from a 6'10 power forward / center. And just such an angry dunker. Like when I think about power dunkers, from the past, two guys come to mind: Dominique Wilkins and Shawn Kemp. And it's kind of a debate for me as to which one of those guys was a more powerful dunker. But yeah, Shawn Kemp needs to be higher than 8. I feel like this is probably a ranking from someone who's a little bit younger, who knows this guy's a good dunker, but didn't see enough of his dunks. Like this guy's highlight reel, his compilations of his dunks, it goes on and on and on. And there were several just thunderous dunks on a nightly basis. So to me, yeah, this is definitely too low. Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins. Wow. So this guy had a bad habit of shattering the backboard. He did it several times in his NBA career. I wish they would have got a picture of him as a player, when he was active. But Chocolate Thunder was just that. He was thunderous, man. And such a powerful player. Not much for creativity, but you would not want to be underneath the rim when he's sending the ball down. That's for sure. I don't think I'd rank him ahead of Jason Richardson or Shawn Kemp. Although as an in-game dunker, you certainly didn't want to be between him and the rim. So I don't know. I think this is a little bit too high, but I love seeing him get his respect. I just wish they would have respected him enough to put an actual photo of him like dunking or something. So yeah, Chocolate Thunder was awesome. Number 6, Blake Griffin. Interesting. Oh my gosh, where to start with Blake? Mozgov, that was just an absolutely awesome dunk. My favorite is the one that he did on Kendrick Perkins, where he elevates, he makes contact with Perkins, and then somehow seems to elevate even further before throwing it down. Back when they were the original, not the original, but the second coming of Lob City with Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin, this guy was putting up highlight dunks all the time. And honestly, even before Chris Paul showed up, this guy's highlight reel was already just insane. As a Lakers fan, I see this was a more recent Laker team, but I remember when he just destroyed Pau Gasol twice. Twice in the same game. It was brutal. So Blake Griffin, 6. I would probably have him around the same location. I would say he'd be just off the top of my head, somewhere between the 5 to 7 range for me. So I think this is a pretty good spot. Number 5, Dominique Wilkins. Disrespectful. Terrible. No way. There is... the NBA's official YouTube page has like a video, I think it's like 10 minutes long, of Dominique Wilkins just destroying people with slam dunks. And I know you're eliminating some of his great performances in the dunk contest, and this specifically right here is an image from a dunk contest. There's Michael Jordan there. I believe this is the 1988 slam dunk contest in Chicago. But this image that they're showing shouldn't even count because we're just talking about in-game ones. But yeah, destroyed Larry Bird, giving Larry Bird an existential crisis. I love what they named some of these dunks. He would dunk on everybody and just windmills, ferocity, power, second chance dunks. Like Dominique was actually an underrated rebounder to go along with the fact that he was such a great dunker, had a great mid-range game and great footwork, but he would crash the boards and grab the rebound and then slam it in, and he'd get so many posters that way. And so there was such a variety of ways that Dominique Wilkins was a great in-game dunker. And for me, he's top 3. I think 5 is... So, I mean, it's not like he's that much lower, but I don't see how Dominique isn't top 3. For me, I think he's probably top 2, to be honest, as an in-game dunker specifically. But they got him at 5. So let's see who they think is greater. Julius Erving. Not as powerful, certainly not as powerful of a dunker as Dominique, but you got more flair with Julius Erving. Some great dunks from Dr. J. I mean, obviously he had the cradle dunk. Yep, the Rockabye Baby on Michael Cooper. That one is absolutely iconic, and Cooper was a defensive player of the year at one point in his career, so that just kind of adds to it. Plus, this was a big game as well. Julius Erving, back when he had the fro, one of his iconic dunks was just absolutely slamming it on Bill Walton, who was the game's best interior big man at the time, and a great rim protector. And then obviously he had the ability to dunk from the free throw line, which kind of tells you the kind of hops he had. So yeah, Julius Erving, I think, as an in-game dunker, even more so than just an overall dunker, he probably should be, really high on the list. He was great in the dunk contests, but, for all the posterizations and the flair and the style, yeah, so I get it. I personally have, I think Dominique might be a spot higher on my list than Julius Erving, but because I respect Julius so much and because he's so high on my list, I'm not mad about this one. I'm okay with this. Number 3, Michael Jordan. Again, why did they pick the photos they picked? I get this is a interesting pick of Michael Jordan. I've actually never seen this close-up image of MJ, but I would have liked to have seen in-game dunks if you're going to do the in-game dunk list. Free throw putback, that's off of Scotty Pippen's missed free throw. I know which one they're talking about there. But obviously, the one where he spins baseline and just slams it right over the top of Patrick Ewing. As an in-game dunker, let's see, he had the cradle dunk. Michael Jordan has so much flair. Who did he not posterize? He obviously dunked on Dikembe Mutombo. He dunked on Alonzo Mourning. A lot of the best centers of his era, Mourning, Mutombo, Patrick Ewing, even David Robinson at one point. He's dunked on just about all of them. So yeah, I think I have MJ like a spot or two lower than these two. I think as in-game dunkers, I have Dominique and Julius higher. I think MJ gets a little bit extra love because he's MJ. He's the best of the best. And because, we like seeing MJ succeed and the best player in the game do what he does, I feel like he just gets extra style points added because he is who he is. Like, he's such a special player and such an iconic player that, like, if Dominique did the same dunk that Jordan did, it's just a little bit more special, I think, to people when Jordan does it. And so for that reason, I think that I'd have the other two guys just a little bit ahead of MJ. But again, it's freaking MJ, dude. Like, how many iconic dunks does this guy have? Like, you can't have a problem with this. LeBron James at number 2. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this one shocked me. No way is LeBron a top 2 dunker for me, but he's certainly worthy of a high spot on the list. Personally, I think LeBron lacks a little creativity. We've seen so much of him just like pulling the ball back and his iconic, off to the side slam. And I remember when he first came into the NBA in 2003 in the 03 to 04 season, I remember thinking at the time, man, I've never seen anybody cock the ball back as far as LeBron did before throwing it down. And that just kind of became his iconic dunk over the course of his 20-plus year career. And he's still freaking doing it, which is crazy too. He's still doing it. Doesn't quite have the same elevation on it, but he's still doing it. But I don't think, like they have Kobe 12 spots lower than LeBron. I don't even think I'd have LeBron higher than Kobe just because Kobe just had such a variety. Like, Kobe had reverse slams, single-handed reverse slams, two-handed slams, alley-oop slams. Like, think about the alley-oop slam where he fakes out Allen Iverson, catches the alley-oop from Brian Shaw, and gets the and one. Like, LeBron has a couple things: ridiculous hops and ridiculous power. One of those great examples is Jason Terry. Absolutely destroyed Jason Terry. 2018, Yusuf Nurkic, that was maybe my favorite LeBron dunk of all time, is how far he leapt from and how much he slammed that down. And then, he had the freaking dunk in Miami where he jumped over a dude too. So LeBron's has some incredible stuff, but I just feel like from a style standpoint, I just feel like there's a lot to be desired for a top 2 spot. For me, if you're top 2, you've got to have all the style and all the power. Because there's guys on this list that have combinations of style and power. You know what I'm saying? And those should be the guys who should be in top 2. So, plus, you have to notice the fact that whoever ranked this list ranked LeBron 1 spot ahead of Jordan. I don't know if that's coincidence. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here, but maybe? I don't know. I've just never seen LeBron ranked this high. Again, LeBron has some incredible dunks. I don't feel like the style is there to justify this personally, but the power certainly is, and the athleticism certainly is. Number 1, Vince Carter. You got him in a Nets jersey. Listen, the 2000 dunk contest is absolutely amazing. It's so amazing. Here's Carter with his first stuff. I just we have the play-by-play memorized. Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home. It's amazing. But even if you eliminate that, even if you get rid of that, Vince Carter has so much that you could put him number 1. Catching alley-oops and throwing a windmill on top of it. He had that. He had reverse alley-oop slams. He had windmill slams all the time. How about, we got him in a Nets jersey here. How about when he went behind the back, attacked the basket, and absolutely destroyed Alonzo Mourning, who was a Defensive Player of the Year winner and one of the best rim protectors of all time. And, Vince Carter absolutely destroyed Dikembe Mutombo on multiple occasions. And then, of course, in the 2000 Olympics, because that counts too. That was an in-game dunk when he leapt right over a 7-footer in Frederick Weiss. Carter's got it all, man. And so I think Carter, whether it's overall dunker, even dunk contest dunker, I think you can make an argument for Zack LaVine or Aaron Gordon if you're having that conversation. But as an overall dunker, as a dunk contest dunker, or just as an in-game dunker, you can make an argument that Vince Carter's number 1 in all of those. Seriously, you could. So overall, I'm not a big fan of the list, but I do think they got number 1 right. At the very least, I think they got number 1 right. Some of the other spots are questionable. Again, lacking variety. These ones I don't necessarily hate the rankings as much, but Daryl Dawkins lacks the variety a little bit as well. I think Kemp should be a little bit higher. Shaq is just kind of weird because he's the only power center dunker, 7-footer that's on this list, really. You had Dwight Howard, but Dwight Howard has such great leaping ability that he almost kind of made you forget that he was borderline 7 feet tall. And then just, Kobe at 14 is too low. Pippen's probably the most questionable for me. I just feel like this one carries so hard, this dunk on Patrick Ewing. But overall, so not a big fan of the list, but again, I think they got number 1 right. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I was a little bit nervous getting through this video, but I think I got a little bit more comfortable as it went on. And I just thought this would be fun. Again, it's not a super relevant topic. It's not something that everybody's talking about right now, but it's more just something that I thought would be fun, and I thought it would be fun to chat with you guys about in the comment section. So please let me know who you guys think was ranked too low, who was ranked too high. You know what? Off the top of my head, one thing I should mention is guys that I thought would have been on the list. Now, this is an old list, but Ja Morant's got to be on here. Ja Morant's already got such a ridiculous highlight reel package from his dunks, from a power standpoint, creativity standpoint. I think Morant's got to be top 20. I would have liked to have seen Desmond Mason on here. If you're not familiar with Desmond Mason, I don't blame you, but I would definitely look up his highlight reels on YouTube because the guy was a freak as a dunker. And there's probably some other ones I'm not even thinking. Like I said, Stromile Swift would have been a nice one to see on here. But again, you only got 20 spots. So let me know what you guys think. Who's too high, who's too low, and who should have been on the list. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.